Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to a special Saturday Night Live, no, not that show, edition of the Backwards Traveler channel. I am Andy Nichols. Joining me for this special live show is none other than Mitch Axelrod from the Fab Four Free For All. Hi, Mitch.
How you doing, Andy?
Good to see you, brother. And it's exciting times, man. We wanted to do this yesterday, but we had to postpone it. So we're glad that you could join us on a Saturday evening. Mitch and I have been messaging for the last couple of days and counting how many times we listened to the brand new song Home to Us, and we are just we love it, don't we, Mitch?
Yeah, it could have gone either way.
Yeah,
but it went the way we wanted it to.
What were your expectations? First take. Like, what did you think? What did you think a Paul and Ringo duet song was going to sound like?
Okay, so I was nervous just about Paul's new album, to be honest, because I just didn't know. With the voice, I know you can mess with the voice in the studio. I just didn't know. So I figured, okay, Paul's album, I don't want it to be another McCartney 3, which I liked at the beginning and then didn't like. It didn't grow on me. I don't really play it a lot, but because it's kind of hodgepodge. And then when I heard this was coming out, I was kind of like, oh no. And then I happened to be away in Aruba with my wife on our 25th anniversary trip, and they debuted, Days We Left Behind, and I was encouraged. I was like, "Ooh, this is different than McCartney 3." And then when they said, there's a duet, I was kind of like, "Oh man, this could be like the death of the duo, or it could really be something cool." And then people were describing it from the listening event in L.A.
Luis, yeah.
That great interview with Luis.
Yeah.
People were describing it kind of like a sea shanty.
Sea shanty, yeah.
And I was like, oh, no. I don't want it to be, ho, 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 and a bottle of rum with Paul and Ringo. And I got a little nervous. And then when we heard it, oh my God. I mean, from the minute it opens and the drumming, I knew it wasn't sea shanty. I knew what they meant, but it made me smile. And then when I heard, what they did, and I haven't stopped playing it, to be honest.
No, I haven't either. That seems to be, of all the songs that are on the album, there's been 2 listening parties, but that seems to be the song that people who have kind of recounted their experiences at the listening parties, that one sticks out the most because it's the Ringo one, more so than any other song on the album. A lot of people have given that song Mountaintop a lot of praise, but Home to Us, now that we've heard it, if you're in that listening party, right, of course that's going to stand out a little bit to you, because it's just a Beatles song. It's a modern Beatles song, is what it is.
It is, I heard some comments. I was laughing. When the lyric video was out, and we'll talk about what could be a cool video later. But when the lyric video came out, I just wanted to see the comments to see what people were saying. And, it was 90% positive. One guy I was laughing so hard. I was like, you got to be kidding. He said, while I appreciate the effort, and I went, oh, here we go. While I appreciate the effort, it seems kind of odd when 2 billionaires are talking about their humble beginnings. And I was like, who is this, Dave Clark? I mean, but, it was, most of the comments were really, good. And the one thing that I'm sad about is that, this is such a great poppy song that it's not going to be played on top 40 radio, and I know that, but it kills me. And I would love it if everybody would pick it up, just because it's not just because it's Paul and Ringo, but it's a good song.
It's a good song, but it might get, I could see Ken Dashow playing it, on Sunday morning or with Breakfast with the Beatles. He'll play it because it's a Beatles show, but I mean, other than that, it's not going to get played, and that's just the state of radio right now.
Yeah, but it's a shame. It's a shame. I do think when we see the UK charts next week, next Friday, or even the update charts they do on Wednesdays, I believe, for singles, I think you will see it somewhere. I do. I think the UK people will pick picked this one up really well because the
Yes.
UK loves Paul and Ringo. I mean, look, UK gave Ringo a #1 country album. So if that's the case, I mean, and Long Long Road is still #2 on the country charts this week. So if that's the case, I think this is going to do really well over there. I mean, Now and Then just dropped off the physical charts in the UK after, I think, 87 weeks.
It's a shame. It's a shame it's taken the UK until Paul to get into his 70s and 80s for them to appreciate him. Where was the love for Paul in the UK, in the 90s, or I mean, he had some good chart success in the 80s, of course, but, now
Not
that he's
in the UK. Mark Lewison told us, we had a chat with him and a long time ago, and we did, and he said that in the UK, from 74 on, the Beatles and individual Beatles were not even considered in the UK.
They weren't, but he did better in the UK than in the 80s than he did in the 70s. If you look at the success of the singles, Pipes of Peace,
Yes.
We All Stand Together, Ebony and Ivory, he did quite well in the 80s on his own, much better than he did in America. Whereas it was flipped. It was flipped. In the 70s, he crushed it in America, and his chart success in the 80s was not so good. So other than that, but it's nice now to see that the UK is celebrating Paul as like their grandfather of rock or whatever, and they're embracing him and Ringo. And I think you're right, Mitch. I think this song is going to take off over there. I think it's going to chart very, very well. Let me just say hello to everybody who's chimed into the comments here tonight. Tony D, as always, some of you guys who are the two legs, backward traveler hands people, thank you for being here, and thanks for being here supporting me and Mitch on this tonight. Lynn A is here. Dane Sawyer, hi. Christian, there she is. Heidi Wags is here. Tom Liverani, thanks for being here tonight. And his son, James Liverani, already did a cover of this song, and you can see that on Facebook now. And it was good, James. James didn't see, he thought it wasn't. He did a good job of it, but in 24 hours, he learned the whole thing. He sent it to me last night. I think he did a pretty good job, son. Good job. Alan is here. Hello, hello. Susan Gagney is here. Lynn says, why was anyone calling it a she shanty? I don't know. I don't know, Mitch. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I could see by the bounciness of it. I mean, but yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I had a beer last night to it, but I'm not gonna. It's not like a typical sea shanty. I think that was just the first impression. People heard it and they didn't hear it again, and then they left and they said, okay, it was bouncy and maybe it was like a sea shanty. But after hearing it for about 172 times now, and my wife is absolutely keeping me in the basement because I just keep playing it.
You hit 172 more times.
I before we got on in the half hour I was hanging out down in the basement, I just kept it on repeat. So it's amazing. It's an earworm.
It is,
and it. I don't think it's a sea shanty at all. I just think it's very almost like La Di Da, the single.
Yeah, but it's better than the La Di Da though.
Oh, yes, it's better, but it has that very up, positive, bouncy feel, and it's a very powerful song, even though the lyrics are really, really simple. But the lyrics are powerful because they're talking about their experience in what they, as someone in the comments said, it's their story to tell. And they tell, Paul tells it well. But again, this could have been co-written by Ringo because he experienced the same thing.
It has those Ringo kind of quality, songwriting qualities to it. Tony loves the singles collection on Mitch's wall. Buddy's here. Hi, buddy, and congratulations to you today. Let's see here. Let's say hello. Anybody new here who's popped in? Beatley Tone is here. Hi, Tone. Thanks for joining. Thanks for staying up. Absolutely. Matthew Bazell is here. Thank you. Reed is here. Hello, Reed. How do we think this single is going to chart in the U.S.?
Oh, see, this is one song. I know McCartney put out. Well, now there's 13 versions because the silver version is out. I bought it. Well, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna go to my local.
You're gonna go to your local.
It's our Looney Tunes record is the one I posted on the Fab4 free for all site, where they're giving away the 3 prints. you could pick one print, which I did, and then I'm still going to go. Last night they actually had a session with Kevin Mazur, who took the prints they had it in-house, in store. So on the 29th, 30th, and 31st, as I posted on the Fab Four Free For All page, you can see Record Store Day has all the record shops that they're going to be celebrating the boys of Dungeon Lane, and they say it's very limited. That silver.
Silver, yeah. And there's all these record stores have not said, you got to be the first person, or we only have 50 copies. You don't know how many they're going to have. So, it would behoove you, if you're going to one of these listening parties, to get there earlier than what they're saying it starts, because start queuing up. And it's not just the one day; it's that whole weekend. It's the 29th.
3 days. So I imagine they're going to have enough for at least the first 2 days. Depends on how many people are going to buy it. But getting back to the original question about how it's going to chart, if I was mentioning the vinyl, because this is one, I can't believe that there's no vinyl single of this. This is one where if Paul would have put out a vinyl single, I would have paid the $11 shipping just for that, because I think this deserves it.
It absolutely does. I mean, because it's a song. It's the first duet with Ringo. It should get a physical release. I don't think we can rule it out that we may not. We've got 13 variants now on 12-inch. Why not get a 7-inch single of this?
But if it does go on 7-inch single, I think a lot of people I think a lot of non-Beatle people are getting into the song from what I've seen for the first 2 days. So if that happens and it gets any kind of airplay, I mean, the streams alone, I think if there was a physical single, it would help a lot. But I think it's America's so tough on legacy acts, not only Paul and Ringo. Ringo charted crap for Look Up, and look what it did in the UK.
Right.
So I'm not sure how it's going to do here. I don't really care how it's going to do here. I think the UK is where it's, where I think Paul and Ringo really care about, or I don't think they care, but if it does well there, I think it'll be really cool. But I'm not so sure it'll do well here, and it's not because it's a bad song. It's a great song, but I think it's like you said before, the state of radio. It's the state of the U.S. with legacy acts in general. They just tend not to do well in the charts anymore.
The staying power isn't there for the legacy act. It'll come out. It'll be very well received for about a good week or two, and then it'll drop. It'll dive.
But nothing has legs. Nothing. Harry Styles' new album. It's a very good album. It went to number 1 for 2 weeks, and now it's in like number 75, and that's Harry Styles.
And that's Harry Styles, but it's also the current state of where we are as a society. Nobody has attention spans anymore. So, they like it for a week, they like it for a day, and then it's, okay, what do you got next tomorrow? The staying power, whether that's film, music, television, they want everything. And then it's gone. And that's just the state of the world these days, unfortunately. Beatley Tone says Morse Moose was a sea shanty in part. Yeah, there's a sea shanty, of course. Yeah, the Great Goose was a steady boat. That's a shanty.
That was great seeing him on the run.
That was the best part of the whole film. That was great.
Yeah, it was.
Beatley Tone, and if you watched we did a kind of lyric by lyric breakdown of this with Tony and Kyle, and Tony so lovingly described the song as a pop burger. Pop here, pop there, pop in the middle, pop all over the place. It is.
That's a great. That actually is a cool way of describing it.
He nailed it. He was so funny with that. Tom Liverani says, based on the 2 songs released, it wouldn't surprise me if the Boys of Dungeon Lane gets Paul another Grammy. Well, maybe. To see.
It's funny you say that, Tom. I wasn't thinking about Grammys, but I always said after Tug of War, which, if you remember, Rolling Stone had Natasha Kinski on the cover, and it had on the very top, it said McCartney's new masterpiece.
Yeah.
And I always said, you know what? I hope he has one more in him before he retires. And when I say retire, you all know what I mean, the end of the end, because he said he's never going to retire until he just drops. And I hope that's not for a long time. But I always wondered, do any legacy acts have a one more real masterpiece? And from what I've heard out of these first 2 singles, I'm thinking this might be the best. I thought Memory Almost Full was really good. I mean, Chaos was really great.
Sure.
Um, but you know, Egypt and McCartney 3, I was like, okay, that's not really up to my standards, but who gives a crap about my standards? But I mean, from
I
what I'm
think
hearing from others too who have heard the album, it's his best in years. So maybe this is his last, hurrah. I don't mean last album, but last hurrah to really do, like the award circuit
all that
and
stuff.
number one
Maybe.
and all that stuff.
I mean, I think as time marches on, and now these two songs have dropped, unfortunately, and while it's a fine record with a lot of great songs on it, but time has not treated McCartney 3 well now, especially in light of the Boys of Dungeon Lane coming out. When you think about
Yeah.
it, nearly 6 years on, I mean, there's some great deep feeling is one of the most complex vocal exercises Paul McCartney's ever done on record. When you listen to that song, it's fantastic. But as a whole, that record is
It's
just
hodgepodge.
it's very hodgepodge. And now you've got a celebrated concept album in the Boys of Dungeon
Yeah.
Lane. It's a concept album from start to finish that's going to come out, and it's really going to be like an album proper, not unlike what McCartney 3 was like height of COVID, but we're getting a McCartney album. Okay, great. But now this is being treated like I get a feeling of Egypt Station again with the promotion behind it. I personally loved Egypt Station. I think as time has treated that album, you don't rate that one very high, Mitch, at all.
I like it. I like it a lot, and it went number one. But right like you said, nothing has legs anymore. So it went number one, and then like a rock, it dropped. And again, that's not only Paul, that's everybody. So, but I like Egypt Station a lot. I think it was very well done. And he sounded fine. Early days was him. His voice at that time, mature.
I have a feeling this album is gonna slide somewhere between New and Egypt Station. Somewhere.
If it does that, I'll be really happy. And honestly, I was so apprehensive to buy. I think I bought 4 copies now. I know you bought all of them, but I think I bought 4. If they would have released them all at one time, I think I've only would have bought maybe the Amoeba one, which is the special cover.
Yes.
And I would have bought the picture disc because I love that picture disc.
Oh, the picture disc is.
I got suckered, and I bought. I think I'm up to 4 or 5. I don't even know. I guess I'll find out when the mail comes. But and my wife yells 4 or 5 times. But
you just sent the mail before her, and you're all good.
But I love. I think I'm based on these 2 songs. I'm not regretting the 4 or 5 purchases at all.
No,
I'm really looking forward to it. Even if I'm not mistaken, Home to Us is the song right before Days We Left Behind, right?
No, on the album, no,
it's not. Okay.
No, Home to Us is the 10th song on the album.
Oh, okay. And how many are on the album?
14.
Okay. You know what? Even if these 2 are the only 2 songs I like, I'll be happy. They're just really good.
Yeah, and I think everybody wanted to kind of read the articles and hear what people had to say about these listening parties. That's why I was so glad to interview Luis. But it's hard, if you're in the room with Paul McCartney, you're
concentrating on him.
You're concentrating on him, and you're listening to the music. But of course, we want to hear what was this song like, and without your phones, you're living that in the moment. It's hard to really sit there and go, well, 30 seconds into this song, I loved the bass riff. You're not right. There's no way to retain that. And, I think those people that were fortunate to go to the listening parties at Abbey Road, especially the one at Abbey Road, Andrew Dixon did a great video on that, which was fantastic. Yeah. Did you watch it?
Yeah. Really good.
Yeah, and he brought a notepad, but then didn't want to take notes, so I don't blame him. So you have to take these moments and live them. But, the album we have to wait 3 more weeks. We'll have it. And I think we'll end up liking it a lot more than we're already thinking we're going to like it. And maybe that's, you want to call us fanboys or whatever. I mean, you're honest, I'm honest, and people want to call me fanboys. But listen, I'm there's plenty of times when I don't like something. we say it. And is there going to be songs on here that maybe we don't like as much? Probably. But listen, it's a new McCartney album in 2026, and we've waited a long time. It's been a long 6 years of no new product. It's what everybody has been screaming for, aside from the Archive series, which is on hold. I don't think it's dead. It's on hold. We have a brand new album. You don't think it's dead either, right?
No, I don't. No,
Good.
I think, as a matter of fact, I think Man on the Run is actually going to give him the kick in the pants to do like London Town and Back to the Egg. I do.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Good pivot point. My friend Bob Gannon just sent me a great picture of the opening exhibit of the Wings Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing, which is opening up next weekend, which we talked about today on Two Legs. And here's a picture. There you go. Paul McCartney and Wings, level 6. So that's where it's going to be in Cleveland. So it's a good point, Mitch. I mean, now you've got a McCartney album coming out. You've got Saturday Night Live. You've got the Wings exhibit. So there is so much Paul promotion right now. His PR machine is going to go into overdrive right now between the Wings stuff. You've got Juber and Holly out there doing a Wings tribute concert on Saturday night on the 16th, the night that Paul does Saturday Night Live. Let's talk about that. What do you think?
Let me just talk let me go back 1 second to your point about the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Please.
It depends on how long that exhibit's going to be there. I don't know what they said, and I don't think they put a finite thing on it, did they?
They did not.
Right. So, Paul, it's a Wings exhibit, and as much as Dungeon Lane is going to do well or not do well or whatever, and PR is going to be in place, as long as that exhibit is there, they have the justification to do the last 2 Wings albums.
Correct.
So I still think I do think it's going to be sometime before that exhibit ends, because if he puts them out, more people will get into it, and then more people are going to go to the exhibit. So they're going to help each other out. So I don't think people are running to the exhibit because of Boys of Dungeon Lane. I think people are running to the exhibit because Wings was amazing.
Right.
So,
and you've got 2 members of the last incarnation of Wings out there. Okay, Juber and Holly right now doing a Wings concert. Now, Paul obviously probably gave his blessing for them to go do that. So anybody who's kind of like, oh, Paul craps on that final lineup. Mitch, to your point, maybe that's the impetus that they need to say, okay, let's celebrate these last 2 Wings releases. London Town. This is Luca Perazzi's latest book, The Story of an Adventurer's Album, which we're going to have him on Two Legs. Luca, thank you for the book. But you're right.
With weed?
Does it come with weed? No, it does not. No, it does not. But
played a big part in that album.
It certainly did. But if those
my favorite solo album, I don't care.
Hey man,
it is my favorite. I'm not ashamed to say that.
I don't listen. There's no wrong answer there. But I do think having those guys out there doing a Wings tribute concert on Saturday night when Paul's going to be doing SNL is a good thing. And it's optimistic for those 2 albums to finally come back out and get the treatment that they so richly deserve. So the Wings exhibit is going to be, we don't know how long it's going to run. It's just opening. It says the 16th, but it actually opens on the 15th because that's when me and Heidi and Gannon and everybody have our tickets to go. We're going to the first time slot on Friday, May 15th, when it opens up. So now the 16th is when they're opening it, but if it's going to be there for a year or so, then more people are getting into Wings, and there you go. Because this is on the back heels of the Man on the Run film. It's all tied into it. Boys of Dungeon Lane aside, right? So
right. As far as Saturday Night Live,
yeah, go ahead, go.
I'm nervous because the last couple of times on Saturday Night Live, he didn't sound that great. Especially 40. I mean, come on. That maybe I'm amazed. Let's call a spade a spade. Was not
rough.
Good. It was rough. I thought the last one on 50 was much better.
It was.
But if he gets on there and he does, his first song is Days We Left Behind, that's his voice. So meaning I don't think anybody has to worry if he's going to sing that song, because that song has his mature voice. There's no, work on it, at least not that I heard. But I think that would be kind of cool to have him come out and just, have him and a acoustic guitar, just playing the days we left behind.
That would be very bold, Mitch. You're right, but on Saturday Night Live, you
He's
think
not going to come out and do "Hey Jude." Come on.
Oh, I think he might.
Oh God, no! And I don't. It's not because I hate "Hey Jude," but they usually give him 3 songs. For some reason, he's McCartney. He's the
all right.
King.
So let's do it. Okay, 3 songs. Okay.
Go ahead. The first one.
The first one is going to be
"Days We Left Behind."
Okay, according to
"Days
Mitch,
We Left Behind."
That's I would love that. I just don't know if that works on Saturday Night Live. You've got a high energy crowd full of celebs, and you open up with this kind of reflective guitar bout. I think.
But you're not gonna do a Beatles song first, because then you're there to promote your album coming out in 10 days or 12 days, whatever, 13 days. You're not there to be a Beatle. You're there to be Paul McCartney with new and if you do a Beatles song, and I'm sorry to say this, if he does a Beatles song, then he's feeding into the legacy crap that happens when people don't buy legacy stuff anymore. And so what is he going to do? He's going to do a Beatles song and people are going to go out and buy Beatles 1 again, or the red and blue.
He's not going to not do
the first song should be the second song should be a Beatle one.
Okay, all right. So if the first song
one should be a song from the new album. I don't think it's going to be "Home to Us," because I think that's going to be the last thing you see on the season finale. And yes, I think Ringo's going to come out.
So you think maybe 2 songs from the new album, these 2 songs, and a Beatles song. So, but
no, maybe a Wing song.
Well, I think you're going to either get Band on the Run or Jet.
Oh no! You're not going to get Jet, and please don't get Band on the Run.
Why not?
We've heard because we've. Do you really want? I mean, isn't it, or maybe Junior's Farm? He always chooses those 3. Like now. I don't know. I think he's going to maybe do a rocker that we don't know from, like Mountaintop or whatever, something from the new album, because there's supposedly, everybody said there's a bunch of rockers, real rockers.
Yes. There's a lot.
So you know what?
Right.
If he does 3 from Dungeon Lane, I'm not going to be upset. I'm not watching Saturday Night Live. For the Saturday Night Live 50, that's a retro program. So if he comes out and does the Golden Slumbers medley, great. Who cares? You end it with the the king of rock and roll. Sorry, Elvis. But for the MBE or whatever he is now, he's got more medals than I have in my hips. But yeah. I'm just saying, if he does 3 from Dungeon Lane, I wouldn't be upset at all. I almost don't want him to do a Beatle or Wing song. He probably will, to appease the audience, the younger audience too.
He has
to.
But
does he have to? He's Paul McCartney. He can get up there and fart 3 songs, and guess what? We're all going to go nuts because, again, like you said, people watching the listening event were, they were focusing on Paul. And when you're in that room with Paul, because I've been in a room with Paul, people don't give a damn what he's saying. He could be doing like the Charlie Brown teacher, wah, 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 wah. And people be going, oh my God, I love what you just said, even though he didn't say anything. Because you're fast, like when you're at a concert with Paul and you're just so fixated when he comes out, you're mesmerized, you're watching a Beatle in front of you and you don't really hear, what he's singing. Sometimes you sing along, but I think that's what happens when you're in the presence of Paul McCartney nowadays. And so, he can come out there and burp, and I think they're just going to go nuts. So I would rather him do new songs and show what an 84-year-old, how he can rock. Unless he wants to do like, he's not going to do "I Saw Her Standing There" because he'd have to lower the key at this point. But yeah. I don't want him coming out and doing Helter Skelter. I don't.
No. But maybe he comes out and does Help. Because he brought that out for the tour. He opens up and does Help.
Yeah, maybe. But again, Help is a John song. I know Paul helped write it. Believe me. But I would rather, since the new exhibit's coming out, I'd rather him stick to a Wing song, a good Wing song. That's very funny. We all stand together. Yeah, we have to go get all the frogs to come sing.
Listen, I think it's twofold. You want to promote the Wings thing out in Cleveland and the new album. So you get a Wings song, you get a new song, and you get a Beatles song. That's my prediction.
No, I don't. I think you're going to get either 3 Dungeon Lane,
No way.
or you're going to get 2 Dungeon Lane sandwiched by a Wings or Beatles song.
Listen, I would love 3 Dungeon Lane songs. I just don't know how that happens. With a Beatle in the room, they're going to say you got to play a Beatles song.
Well, it's funny because when he was on in 2000 and oh Lord, was it? Oh my God, what year did Off the Ground come out?
93.
93. When he was on, right? When he was on in 93, he did Get Out of My Way.
Yes.
And nobody expected that.
And Biker Like
went nuts. I still think that should be in the set list. But
I agree with you,
because that's a great rocker, which I've always said. How come he, and not even a Wings thing. If you want to do just solo Paul McCartney, you're not doing Get Out of My Way, which is one of his best rockers in forever. But so he, I just don't think he does. He's not obligated to do Beatles and Wings, but I think for the exhibit, he'll do Wings and 2 Dungeon Lane. But I do think Ringo is going to come out at the very end because it's the season-ending finale of Saturday Night Live. He won't drum, but he'll stand next to Paul while Paul plays the guitar. And I know nothing, people. So just ask my wife. I know nothing. So if Ringo comes out at the end of the show, because that'll be like the show ender, like he did with Wonderful Christmas Time that time, I think in 13 or 12. So if he does that, and then as you and I were talking about, Andy, they both go right up to Lorne Michaels and say, "Where's my check? Where's
my check? Where's my check where's our check?
$1,500. We want it. We're 2 of us."
I'm telling you, that's going to happen. There's 2 of us here. Give us a check for $1,500. Done. That could happen.
Yeah, that actually would be really funny.
It would be priceless. And considering Lorne Michaels is rumored to be hanging it up and retiring, maybe that would be what a fitting way for his career to end. Let me catch up on comments here. Dane, thank you. Qualified. Thank you very much, Dane. That was very kind to you. Love you, man. Thank you. Back to the Egg in London Towner in the documentary. Yes, that's why we think that they're coming, which we just said. Tom says that he thinks the Wings exhibit will trigger the last 2, like we're also saying, and a possible Hall of Fame induction. Interesting. We'll have to see. I mean, and that's a whole other show.
Let's not go there tonight.
That's a whole other show. Hello, Chris.
Wild honey pie and loop. I'm sorry, Beatletown, you're killing me.
Oh, that's what he wants. Yeah. We think so too. Yes, Tone, absolutely. We took our picture right there. We recreated it in December. Or was it January? No, it was January. Right. Lynn says, I saw a reaction from a young guy to the Days with Left Behind, and he thought that Paul was purposely making his voice sound old and weak, that it was a good effect for the song. What do you think?
Tell the guy to listen to him for other stuff. He's not purposely doing it on every album.
Yeah. Thank you, MVP. My biggest fan, Dave Pounds. No, we're not going to talk about the Stones album. Have a nice day. See you later. You must be bored. You're watching me. Let's see. A Beatles song with Ringo. Now, if Ringo's coming out there, Mitch, is he going to just do Home to Us, or does he's got to do a Beatles song with a little help from my friends?
With a little help from my friends?
Yes.
And then the whole cast comes out and sings the chorus with them, and that's how they end the season?
Maybe that's how they end it. I mean,
But you got to do Home to Us.
You got to.
If you have Ringo there, you got to do Home to Us. So you know what? Maybe he does. Maybe the middle song is Home to Us. As long as people know Ringo's there, then the last song would be with a little help.
Would be Pepper with a little help, and then that would be the end of the show. That would be an interesting way to do it.
There you go. That's a good point, Lynn.
Yeah, very good, Lynn. Thank you. Blackbird, possibly. Okay. Tony says he can't see him doing 3 songs from Dungeon Lane because audience and viewers won't know them. Yeah, they wouldn't know him. Okay. Please with that song.
Hi, Heidi.
Joe Mantaneo, hey brother, if Paul plays a Wings song from London Town or Back to the Egg, then I bet the archive would come out. Well,
listen, don't that's a good point, Joe. You know what? Maybe maybe he does something rocky that he can scream, like Spin It On or something as a rocker. Can you imagine him coming out and doing Spin It On?
No.
He's
Maybe
not going
rock.
to do Arrow Through Me because his voice is just not set for that now.
Maybe the Rockestra. Maybe Rockestra.
No, he's not going to do Rockestra. Nah. I would love to see him do So Glad to See You Here Tonight. My God.
Yeah.
Cafe on the Left Bank. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Susan. Hi, Susan, dear. She thinks Paul do a couple songs from the new album and something like Live and Let Die. Ooh, Live and Let Die on SNL? I don't know, Mitch. What do you think?
No, you need the fireworks, and I don't think they would do that. I don't know. You know what? It's so funny. We could sit here for 3 hours thinking of what Beatle or Wings song he could do, because he could do any of them, and I'd be like, that was good.
Let's be honest, Mitch, he could do 3 Beatles songs, and we're gonna love it. You're gonna love that too.
No, you're wrong. Sorry. Yes, I would love it because
I just said that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't love it. I would love it. I wouldn't be unhappy, but that wouldn't be my first choice.
That wouldn't be your preferred choice.
No, he's got to come out and show he still has it and do at least one song from the new album so people in 2 weeks go buy that new album. You're not going to be on Saturday Night Live, the season ender, because you're a legacy act. Because if he had no album coming out, I would say you could do 3 of whatever you want. But he has an album coming out, and you gotta take advantage of it. I
do love that it's the season finale and he's on there. That's pretty awesome. It's gonna be, and I think our good friend Mike Nair is gonna be there. He was one of the freelance camera ops who worked the Saturday Night 50th show last year and got to meet Paul. So I mean, what a life! What a
great picture.
Isn't that great, Mitch? So Mike, I hope you enjoy it. I think you're working the gig. If not, just text me. But I know he's on the inside. Know-how there. Joe Mayo's here. Hi, Joe. Joe predicts Help, Days We Left Behind, and Home to Us. Not a bad prediction.
I think that would, I would probably say, if I was betting, that would be high up on my list of saying, probably
to do those 3.
Yeah. I mean, everybody needs help. No, but everybody, I Help is a great song, so everybody knows it. So everybody knows all of his songs. Come on,
they do. But Mitch, that was such a surprise when the U.S. leg of the tour started in the fall of 2025, and he came out and he played that song. Nobody knew that was going to come, and he came out and wowed us with Help.
No, I still think you should. I still think you should do I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute once we catch up with comments here. Dane says he thinks balance: 1 Beatles, 1 Wings. And then another one, and then something from the new album, Days We Left Behind. But I'm wondering. I think balance too. I think if he's going on there representing his life, right? 1 Beatles, 1 Wings, and the new album. There's balance. I agree with Dane here, But then he says he's wondering if what he should do, versus what he will do. Maybe 2 Beatles, 1 Wings, 2 Beatles, or the Days We Left, or the one from the new album. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Chris, my Wings Over America guru. The 50th anniversary of Wings in Toronto is tonight. So maybe Silly Love Songs would be cool for SNL. In our wildest dreams, I think we would all have a heart attack if he did Silly Love Songs.
He hasn't done Silly Love Songs since 76.
No.
Did he do it on the 79 tour? I don't think so.
Nope.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't. Something very telling I saw the other day. What was it on the when he did that extra 10-minute video with
Morgan Neville?
Yeah, when he did that, and he said he was embarrassed by Venus and Mars Rock Show, some of the lyrics in there.
The lyrics, yeah,
he said he was embarrassed. So I don't think he's. I think he wants to still be the cool McCartney, even though he's 84. So I don't think he would do Silly Love Songs, even though. Around the world, it was a huge hit. I just don't think he would do that. I think if he has a chance to be live in front of 50 million people, he's going to be a little cooler than that, even though I think Silly Love Songs is a great song.
No. In 79, the only thing you had from that album represented was Cook of the House, which Beatle Tone saw live, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, but 5 times. So, Cook.
And now we hate him 5 times because I would have loved to see that.
Oh my God! I do think I think you bring up a point there, Mitch, about that being embarrassed about his lyrics and stuff. You got to remember too, he's looking back on in 1975. Punk and glam is everywhere. So lyrics like in my green metal suit, I'm preparing to shoot up the city. As an 84-year-old man, he's like, wow, I'm kind of embarrassed by that. But he was 33 when he wrote it, and it's 50 years ago.
Yeah, I think he said he was also embarrassed by they talked about an axe instead of a guitar, but everybody was doing all that stuff. So, now he may be embarrassed, but back then you're right. It was perfectly. I didn't think twice. It was just a great rock song.
Right. Lynn says that she agrees with Dane. Definitely Home to Us, but a Wings and a Beatles. And love the idea of a little help with my friends with Ringo. Maybe.
If look, we're all saying Ringo's going to be there. What if Ringo's not there? Then you don't do With a Little Help from My Friends. You may not even do Home to Us unless he's going to do the whole thing. But
right.
I just have a feeling. I don't know. I mean, it's the, and I'm not saying this morbidly, but this might be the last time that you see both Beatles together on a major show. So and we're talking major
show. Saturday Night Live, NBC, broadcast television. I know that. What does that mean in 2026? Not what it meant 20 years ago, but
no, but you're still talking. When they and nobody, a lot of people don't even care about the skits anymore. Most people care about the musical acts. So
they do. But
if this might be it. So I don't know. Something's telling me that, especially look, if Home to Us kind of sucked and wasn't getting the reaction it's getting, and Home to Us is getting amazing reaction from all Beatle fans, most Beatle fans. If it was like just okay, meh. I don't think Ringo would bother, but because it's such a good poppy up song, I just have a feeling that they're going to be together. I don't know why.
I agree with you, buddy.
Crazy, but I think they are. I just don't know why.
Heidi with a great comment about the skit. What if he's going to be in a skit? I didn't even think about that. Good comment there, MVP.
He could. I mean, he's been in skits before.
But I mean, why not go do a couple of skits? I know nobody cares. You just said nobody cares about the skits, but why not just go do or have the two of them do skits? But if they incorporate the Lorne Michaels check thing from April '76, that could be a skit.
That'll be a skit. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
I think that'll be kind of cool if they, and who knows, maybe they're thinking that right now and especially if they know that Paul and Ringo are going to be together, maybe that becomes a skit on purpose. So,
correct. That could be awesome. Chris, last time he did High, to my memory, was the Out There tour, maybe in 2013, 2014.
He definitely did it.
I saw him do it at the Barclays Center in 2013. I don't know.
Me too. I was there.
One of the best shows. Ever.
Someone pointed out, I forgot who it was who pointed it out, but maybe he does Now and Then.
Oh, let's go. Yeah, who mentioned that? I think
someone mentioned it. I saw it, and it was
buddy. This young man just graduated college today and had his college.
Oh, congratulations! That's awesome.
Congratulations to you. Now and Then. That's actually a good idea. I mean,
if Ringo's there, I mean, that's not a bad.
There's your Beatles song. There's your Beatles song.
And it's also reflecting on the past.
Correct. So now if you get Now and Then, Home to Us, with a little help, my friend.
It takes a 22-year-old Beatle fan to school us.
He's not. Listen, it's a very obvious choice. Now and Then with Ringo on Saturday Night Live. Come on, it's a great one. Great job, buddy. Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's catch up here. Lynette, hi Lynette, says it's got to be songs he can easily sing with no warm up. Maybe Helter Skelter. Ugh, Days We Left Behind or Home to Us. We can't see Helter Skelter, right? No way.
I mean, I can because Paul falls back on that, but because he tends to sing the songs that he needs to scream to, so you can't hear the frailty in his mature voice.
Well, that's why I think, Mitch, when you said if he opens up with it would be fantastic and such a bold move to open up with The Days We Left Behind because it's just him. But I don't know if he's going to want to do that. If he's with a band that can kind of where you're hearing kind of the band backing him and stuff, he might feel safer doing that. Or he might say, you know what? I don't give a shit. This is who I am, and this is the song I'm doing.
I have a prediction. I think the first song you're going to see him on a stage with the acoustic guitar, and again, I'm shooting the shit here. I don't care, but you're going to see him on a stool doing Days We Left Behind with a black background and a spotlight on him, and that's how he's going to do his first song, and he'll get thunderous applause because it's a beautiful song. He'll sing it just like he sings it on the record, and then after that, boom,
Now,
after
we're
that,
rocking. Now we're
you can
rocking.
do whatever you want. Then you do your rockers. You have Ringo come out, and the Beatles are back. So you know what I mean when I say the Beatles. The legacy of the Beatles is intact, and even though it's always intact and not going anywhere, but Paul should take advantage of. Again, Paul doesn't have to do anything, but I think it would be beautiful if he sat on a stool with just a spotlight on him, singing "Days We Left Behind." It's a gorgeous.
It would be awesome. There wouldn't be a dry eye. There wouldn't be a dry eye anywhere in the house if that's how we opened up the show. Absolutely,
yep, I agree.
Absolutely. Let me ask you a hypothetical. Okay, so before we do that, a couple people have clarified. Hi was done a little after 13 at the Grand Central Station gig, which is one of life's regrets because I could have gone to that, but I didn't. But it's okay. It was for a good cause. He did it in 2017 at the Garden. So all right. So within the last 10 years, it was done.
Yeah, he's definitely done more Wings, even though I love when he says, this one's for the Wings fans, and he does too many people, but whatever.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question here, Mitch. A hypothetical. He's going to be 84 in about 6 weeks' time.
Yep.
Are you ready to say that this is the final musical statement from Paul McCartney, solo artist?
Am I ready to say it? No. Yes and no. I think if this album does really, really well, goes to number one, becomes not his masterpiece, but a really well-respected album, I think it'll be his last album. And then I think he's going to do what Ringo's been doing, giving us singles, EPs, because he doesn't have to do anything.
No.
But Ringo did EPs for 7 years, and then he gave us 2 freaking great albums. So
correct.
Never say never with people who, Paul said this is what he does. This is his job. So, unless something happens health-wise, I think this might be the last big push. But I don't think he's ever going to stop making music. I also think that, and Tony, one of my partners on the Fab Four Free For All, had suggested that, he should really just write for others now. He writes beautiful stuff, and others can sing it really well. And that's not a knock on Paul's voice at all. It's just, again, he's such a great lyricist and always writes and doesn't ever stop. He should just write for others. He's done it before, and people have had hits. So again, whether he's doing it himself, whether he's writing for others, he's not going to stop. But I think album wise, this may be if it turns out that this is a clunker and everybody gives it an F, which I doubt, the first 2 songs right away are, worthy of way more than that. But if it's a clunker for any reason, he's too prideful to let it go on that. So
no,
I think it'll be more.
I think he's gonna keep doing music in some form, whether it's studio albums after this. I'm prepared for this to be his final one, but I don't think he's gonna stop until he's gonna drop songs. He's gonna do music for other people, experimental. He
has High in the Clouds coming out with more of his own music. We never heard the Lady Gaga collaborations.
No. Oh, Dane gets it perfect here. I think Paul will keep making music regardless whether he keeps singing. Maybe he returns to more of experimental music, fireman, or classical. Yeah, he's never going to stop. Dane, you and I are, as usual, on point. He's not going to stop. But if he's going to stop making proper studio albums, I'm okay with this being his last one. I really am, because of what we've heard so far. Is our home runs, 2 for 2. They have been fantastic.
And we're not sycophants. As people who know the Fab Four Free For All, if I feel I've given Paul his due crap when he deserves it, or when I think he deserves it.
I have too, despite what people
just say. Oh, I love it because it's Paul.
No. Am I inclined to probably like it because it's Paul? Yeah, but if I don't, I say it. I've said it before.
Come on. How many times does Heidi have to say "for you"? you know?
Oh, this was great. Yes. Did you see him singing "Happy Birthday" on Instagram
Yes.
to David? Even singing "Happy Birthday" was great.
Yeah, look, even when he did little messages like he was touting Foreigner for the Hall of Fame, all that
Oh,
little
yeah, that's
stuff,
great.
he's
Foreigners
still
not in the Hall of
on,
Fame. What the fuck?
yeah, he's still up on everything in rock, and he's still rock royalty, and he will be until they put him in the ground. And even after that, the Beatles, will always be rock royalty. So, he does. We're sitting there saying, what's he going to do? He could get up on stage and just say, "Hi, I'm Paul McCartney," and leave the stage, and everybody would still be happy. They
Correct.
saw Paul McCartney. The studio audience, the audience who are watching it on TV will be stunned, but the whole studio audience will say, "Oh my God, I just was in the presence of Paul McCartney."
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Yeah.
it happens. I mean, Lord knows he has a really, all four of them had this sense when you're with them or when you're around them or close to them, within 5-10 feet or even closer,
Or like
they
right in front
have
of
an
him.
aura. Yeah, they have an aura of about them. I was lucky enough to spend the day with him May 1st, 1993, in the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. And I have a picture. I finally found there were no cameras allowed. And they said to me, "You can't bring a camera." I brought like 7 disposable cameras. And they said, "Nope, those have to go in the locker." I'm like, "Oh, come on." They're like, "Nope, no cameras, no nothing." And Rick Glover, our good friend Rick Glover,
Yeah.
he was there as part of I forgot what he said, a part of the press or whatever, but he took 72 pictures. Most of them are blurry, but
Right.
but he took a lot of great pictures of that time. And I found one with me, half of my face. You could easily tell, with the receding hair and all that crap, but you could easily tell it's me. But I'm trying to get it I'm trying to AI it so where it's
Run it through AI and clean it up.
Yeah, but it's definitely me. But they have an aura about them that, and they're very, very. They're all down to earth. So it's not like get away from me, kid, you're bothering me. They're just amazing people. So when you see them, and even when you're with 50 or 70,000 people in an arena, or 20,000 in an arena, there's just I've said it many times. In 2005, when he was at the Garden, when he started doing "Please Please Me," I started bawling like a baby. And I didn't even know why, but it's just that's the way it is with them. So
hey,
on a small venue on Saturday Night Live,
when you have those moments with him personally, one-on-one, and you can lock eyes with him, and that melts your heart. I mean, when Heidi and I were in Nashville and he came out and he did Jet, the two of us were right in front of him on the rail in the front row. And when he went, "Woo," she said, we went, "Woo," she said, and he chuckled at us. He chuckled when we did the hand movement and he laughed.
It's just, I don't think there's ever going to be anything like, the four of them. And then with McCartney, because he had such a successful solo career, I just don't think there's a plenty of other rock royalty. I'm not disparaging anybody, but the Beatles are just at the top. And I just think that they're always going to be at the top. I mean, it's weird, but so I'm looking forward to Saturday Night Live. I hope, he's in decent voice, because, we didn't really talk about Home to Us, but I think, we still can, we should.
Go ahead.
They manipulated his voice a little bit, obviously. But if he sounds anything like that, or even Days We Left Behind, I'll be happy.
Listen, I think. Listen, I've said it on all the different channels that I'm on, and Home to Us exceeded my expectations. I'm sure, as you did at the top of the live here, you weren't really sure what you were expecting with this. Was it going to be a Paul song with Ringo? But it's being billed as the first duet, and I stand by that. It actually is a duet. They are trading vocals.
I don't want people keep saying "Walk with Me," "Walk with You" and "Beautiful Night." I'm like, no, this is Paul and then Ringo, Paul and then Ringo. Literally, not not one of them in this song sings two lines in a row.
No, Heidi and I watched the lyric video last night on the TV, and we listened to it, and we went, okay, Paul. Now there's Ringo.
Yep.
There's Paul. Then there's Ringo. That is a duet, as defined. It's not a Paul song featuring scant vocals from Ringo, or a Ringo song that has Paul on backing vocals. This is a true duet.
Yeah, and it's, you know, the drumming, the bass. I mean, the bass is great. The drumming is phenomenal, and it's not like, you know, unfortunately, it's not like the Threedle songs where it's Jeff Lynne production. You know,
although it does sound a little bit like ELO there, you got to admit.
No. The part where they say, yes, we didn't worry where the road was lead us to. Yes, that is definitely ELO-ish.
But is it really ELO-ish, or is it? It's not really ELO-ish, because ELO was always was
derivative of the Beatles,
right? So
yeah, so it's Beatley. This happens to be, you know, probably one of the most Beatley Paul songs in a while.
So, I think since New. The song,
yes, and this actually reminds me of New. This song,
I said that the minute I heard this song, I'm like, this is
better than New.
It's better than New.
It's better than New. But you know, it's funny because when my wife first heard it, she said, "Okay, where's Paul?" She couldn't really hear Paul. I think Paul was mixed a little lower than Ringo.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. She said, "Oh, it sounds like a Ringo song." Because it does sort of sound like a Ringo song, but like one that he would do. Kind of simple, but poppy and catchy, earworm. But I think Paul is mixed a little lower in the mix than Ringo. And, you know, Ringo has that booming voice anyway, no matter what. So, you know, you hear him no matter what. But
this is interesting, though. This song is an Andrew Watt co-write. It's not just by Paul. This is Paul and Andrew Watt.
Really? Andrew Watt is how old? Like 40?
Probably. No, I think he's like 35.
Yeah. So what did, you know, he grew up in LA.
Right.
All the lyrics. I'm thinking of his hometown, you know, Los Angeles. No, come on.
No, I don't know.
I would say this is mostly Paul.
It's got to be mostly Paul, but I mean, to have Andrew Watt co-write this song, what lines did he contribute, you know?
Yeah, maybe he contributed, but it was, you know, our hometown, my hometown. You know, who knows?
I don't. It's such a song that's full of joy and positivity, and it's got the Penny Lane like quality to it that I felt like New had. The jumpy, the bouncy, the positivity, the joy, the roots of it. It's all in that. It's all in that 3 minutes of that song, and it's
got a great guitar solo too.
And the guitar solo, yes.
But, you know, I don't know. We didn't get the full sheet of who does what, right? So
no, that's out there. That's out there.
Is it?
It is. Like the credits on who plays everything and all that.
Yeah. So is Paul doing the solo?
Paul's on the solo. Yes.
Okay, good. Because that's a really good solo. And there's little nuances when you know, for everybody watching now and who will be watching later. You can listen on your phone, you can listen on your laptop, but you need to listen in like a car.
Like
because there's little nuances, nuances that you don't hear. Like when I was in my car and you first heard it, little guitar flourishes in the beginning, and which I didn't hear at all on my laptop or on my phone. So you know, you really need to crank this up, and it's a great driving song.
It is. You know? No, so here's the rundown on who played what. Okay, Mitch. Paul is on acoustic guitar, bass, electric guitar, and piano. Okay. Ringo's is everything. Ringo is tambourine and drums and lead vocals. And then, of course, the backing vocals by Chrissie Hynde and Charlene Spiteri, or whatever, however you say it.
No, I think it's Spiteri.
Spiteri.
I think it's Charlene Spiteri from the rock group Texas, who are from Scotland.
From Scotland, but Chrissie Hynde from the Pretenders, and that's it. But Paul, as you would expect, is carrying most of the weight there with all the instrumentation. So that solo is all him.
Funny though, but I think Chrissie and Charlene are doing the high harmonies though. And not only the background, I think they're doing the high harmonies if you listen carefully.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, where Paul would normally do the high harmonies, singing with himself.
But no, that's the girls.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the girls now. But it's okay. I didn't care.
I didn't care either. A couple of quick hellos for some late people who have popped in. Hello, Jeffrey. Good to see you here. Thanks for being here on a Saturday night. This is Mike Waljasper. Hi to you too. He's talking about maybe Andrew Watt suggesting chord changes to get songwriting credit. Fair enough.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Tone says maybe Andrew Watt's contribution was to the songwriting were music only, probably. Let's see where it's SNL stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Tony asks, do you think Paul always intended to sing this with Ringo? I think yes.
I would say yeah too.
Yeah. Matt says his only criticism of the song is that the solo backing vocals with Chrissy and Charlene are too low in the mix. I understand why it's mixed that way, but to ensure that it's a duet and not a quartet, fair.
I would say that's fair too. I mean, there are times when I wish, like, I had to really listen and then watch the lyric video in order to hear when they said we didn't worry where the road was going to lead us to, and the world around us wasn't safe. I think that line should have been those two lines, since the girls are singing it together alone without the Beatles. I think those should have been higher in the mix. I agree.
They should have been. And then, thank you, Susan, for also adding that. That's also accurate. Andrew Watt is on electric and acoustic too. So maybe that's him doing the solo. To me, that sounds like Paul. What do you think, Mitch?
It does. Yeah, I think it sounds like Paul. It's, Paul, I mean, based on Now and Then solo, we know he's a great guitar player. My God. Yes. Yeah, you're right, James. I mean, he's really a great guitar player. So, just listen to somebody who cares. Oh, God.
There you go.
I love that
Mitch,
song.
what do you think the odds are that we actually get a proper video for this song? Forget the lyric video. Imagine if there's a real video for this.
I think we will get one. I think they probably have one already.
Oh, I hope so.
I mean, this album has been talked about for what, 3 years now?
4
years. Okay. So I think, I do think there's probably a video either being made now or has been made. I think we need to, if there's going to be a proper video with the both of them in it, I think we need to, even if it's just Paul, I think we need to get it soon, because they just dropped the single and we got the lyric video. I mean, Ringo gave us Long, Long Road with, that fantastic video. My God.
We could talk about that for a few minutes too. I know it's mostly been Paul tonight, but I know you love that.
Looking back too.
It's also reflective.
Yeah, and that's a great video. People were upset that it was AI. I'm like, are you high? People, who cares? Ringo's really going to drive in an open air convertible in New York City? Come on.
No.
And we don't even know if Ringo's still driving. I don't know. I mean,
probably
he's 86. Not. I mean, maybe he's being driven. So
that making of video was great, where he's just basically, it's all green screen, and he's just sitting there, and they're just, he's, of course.
And they used AI to take existing pictures and make them come to life. I have no care about that at all. I loved it because they're not faking pictures. They're taking actual photographs and making them move. So what's wrong with that? So, I thought it was a brilliant video. And I if we could get something like that for Home to Us, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, what was the last
cool video?
What's that?
It needs a cool video.
I hope so, but what was the last music video that Paul really dropped? It would have been like For You, right? Or For You and Who Cares from Egypt Station?
What was the one he used AI to make himself the younger guy? It was McCartney 3. It was
McCartney 3, yeah, all that stuff, yeah.
The AI one where it was going in the room, the one with that. Yeah, what was it? See,
Find My Way. Find My Way.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Lynette.
That was his last video, but that wasn't him. It was AI, so I don't really count that one.
No, but it's still a video, a proper video.
It is, but it's all right. It's yeah. So,
he also wasn't there a video for When Winter Comes, the animated one?
Animated, but that's not a real one. We need a real video with Paul McCartney.
He doesn't like to put himself on album covers anymore.
No,
I know. He hasn't since Driving Rain, and that and that was even
All right, so let me ask you now a question. Now, this is something that came up when we did the Hands Across the Water episode with Tony and Kyle. Kyle is viewing this drop as a single, right? It's a single, and Tony goes, well, if it's a single, what's the B-side? Fair question.
Yes and no. Let's go back to 40 minutes ago when you said the state of the art, the state of the business now. A single is a downloadable song. Is there a B-side to a downloadable song? If there is a physical single, it'll probably be Home to Us, the solo version, like he did with Ebony and Ivory.
Right. And what Kyle's point was, which was pretty astute, was that, look, a single was a marketing tool back in the 7-inch, when the 7-inch was the dominant format. It was a promotional marketing tool to promote an album. So it was an A and a B side, right? It was still a marketing thing to promote something off of an album, mainly, except in the Beatles' case when they didn't put singles on albums, but that changed over time. We know that, but it was still for promotional reasons. Now in 2026, it's still being done for promotional reasons. So it really hasn't changed. So I don't know. I see both. I see where Tony's saying if it's a single, well, what's the B-side? I understand what he's
thinking
saying.
of a traditional physical single. That's not the way. I mean, when you get a physical traditional single now, it's a special occasion. It is. Taylor Swift put out 3 singles for her album, The Life of a Showgirl. And they're on glitter, and they're beautiful. I actually bought the first one because she had an acoustic version of Fate of Ophelia, which I happen to like the song a lot, but she had an acoustic version of it, which is absolutely beautiful, and you can't get it anywhere except the physical single. So I bought it, and it was limited, but that's a single with a physical single. Nowadays, when people put out singles, it's a single song that is available for download or stream. So you can think about it either way, but single means one. So one song comes out for download or stream. But to Kyle's point, back in our day, single meant 2 sides to a 45 physical record.
Well, this Jeff down here he's one of our subscribers, and he is a big Swiftie. He loves Taylor Swift. So the fact that you just mentioned Taylor and you bought that, you just made his day.
I actually bought Opalite too, but I didn't buy Elizabeth Taylor. That was actually on Record Store Day. They Record Store Day said limited edition, and meanwhile every record store I saw had like 1,000 copies of it. So so I didn't get that one. I'm not crazy about that song, but I do like Opalite and Fate of Ophelia. But the Fate of Ophelia acoustic, if anybody can find it, I'm not sure if it's on Spotify now or not, but gorgeous version of a really catchy song.
But circling back to the single thing, I would really like to see a 7-inch single from this album come out. Whether that's going to be a double A side, as Buddy just said, is it going to be a double A side, or maybe it's Home to Us and then a non-album B side? It would be nice to have a 7-inch release here. I mean, it's not like it's lost on him. He just released the 7-inch singles box 4 years ago, which he loves the art and the
$800 or $600, whatever. Yeah, I know you have 3 of them. I know.
No, one. So he does value that. So that format. So maybe we'll get one.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gives us a single with these first 2 songs on them. I would buy it. Like it would be like someone mentioned a double A side sort of. I do think you could easily do Days We Left Behind and Back with Home to Us. I would
double A side, like Home Tonight and In a Hurry from 2019, which was tremendous.
Exactly. That was Record Store Day, though. You can't find that anywhere else. I think he should make these available on his website, like the Beatles did with Now and Then, and they did it with I Want to Hold Your Hand, and right. So I think he should make a physical single available on his website. It'll probably come in 17 colors, but I'll probably buy all of them.
Probably get most
The
of them.
single, I would buy them all because I just love these first two songs.
I know they have been home runs right out of the
They're giving me hope, so much hope for this album.
yeah.
I'm getting anticipation for this album more than I have in a long time for an album. I mean,
Really?
a long time for a McCartney album. Yeah.
What was the last time you felt this excited for a McCartney album?
I'm trying to think. What was the first song from McCartney 3? What came out first?
Find My Way.
Yeah, I didn't love it. What was the first song for Egypt?
I don't know.
No, well, Come On to Me.
Well, no, but I don't know. Dropped first. Well, I guess both. I think they both.
It was a double. It was that was a single.
Right.
Not that one either. It's weird because for Paul, when he drops a single, he doesn't always drop the best singles. Like Ever Present Past was good, but it wasn't the best on that album. Fine Line for Chaos and Creation was the worst single pick he could have done for that album, I think. But because I think there's a lot of better ones. So I'm not sure when I was this excited, but maybe because he's gotten older and I've not enjoyed watching him get older. Mm-hmm. So maybe because these first two songs have been so good in his, mature stage that I have anticipation like I've never done before because, I didn't expect much. So to get what we've gotten already is just gravy, to be honest.
All right. I can see why you're a little bit more amped up in it because the last 10 years or so, you really haven't been. It hasn't set the world on fire for you.
No, listen, they've been fine albums. They have. But
I'll tell you, I was talking with Caitlin Larkin from the Beatles channel when they came out, and she thinks this is the best single release from him since Fine Line and Chaos in 2005.
There you go. Fine Line was good. It was not indicative. I don't think it was indicative of the album though.
No, it was not. Yeah, that album Chaos, was much more personal and intimate and deep.
That song I understand why it came out because although I still think Too Much Rain should have been a single.
Agreed.
But that's a different. I mean, that song. If you ask me, give you the top 5 or 10 best McCartney songs from 2000 on. I mean, my God, Too Much Rain would probably be very near the top.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Let's go back.
Song, my God.
So let's go back to the whole the single thing. Tony says, I'll put it another way. Does this song appear in Macca's single discography? The answer is no.
It doesn't yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. But again, we can add to Wiki, right?
Well, yeah, anybody can update Wikipedia, right?
Exactly. Let's go do it now.
And change Paul McCartney singles now and have it reflect that.
No, but I mean, will this appear? I'm not sure. Does Days We Left Behind appear in his discography right now as a single?
Probably not. About looking it up.
So what would be the last McCartney quote single in his discography?
Somebody tell us in the comments what's the last one credited?
Yeah,
Nick,
what's the last Paul McCartney song?
Who's here? Nick, I haven't forgotten about you. Your suitcase is in the mail. I've just been swamped with work, and it's on its way. I forget. I have 2 suitcases, and one's going to Nick. He thinks it has a Living Thing vibe to it. I agree with that. I do.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does.
Last time Tone was excited for a Paul album of a lead single was Young Boy from Flaming Pie. Well, last time that he was this excited is what he was saying was Flaming Pie. So that's a long time ago. Wow.
Yeah, but a lot of a couple. I'll tell you what. A couple people have said that who have been to the events said that this album reminded them a lot of Chaos and Creation.
Yes,
which I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. So, and as a matter of fact, I was emailing with Paul's PA in the UK, and he said it reminded him of Chaos as well.
Chaos. Wow. All right, the
So
last
look at that.
single,
The last
"Women and Wives,"
Beatles
was the
song.
last.
Did you mean the dingle from because of Ringo? No,
No, he
sorry.
meant single. He
I
meant
know
single.
what he meant, but it's dingle because Ringo was born in the dingle.
Correct.
So I was
Um,
just making a joke. But no,
no, I,
Women and Wives really was the last one. Yeah, you know what? He did put out the 12-inch of that, didn't he?
he did. There was a 12. That was a
Record Store Day.
record store day. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
Um,
love that. I thought the single from that album honestly should have been Lavatory Lil.
I agree. I agree.
Lavatory Lil should have been put in the set list. That would
Stop.
have been a really cool, song to have people, stomp to.
Yeah, I'm going to change my location here for a minute. Bear with me, Mitch, while I move. Yeah,
Yes, okay.
the lobby here is a little bit too loud. So come with us while we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lavatory Lil was as soon as I heard it, it's such a clever song. And it's also, I thought it would have been a great stomper to put in the set list, but he never did. He put in Women and Wives. I was like, come on. I like Women and Women and Wives. Both of them. I have a wife who's a woman, but I just think that Lavatory Lil would have been a really cool live song. But Paul still does the same set list for the past
"Women and
77
Wives." Yeah, is a song that he kept it in the sound check for a while, and it was still in there. But
Yeah, I just didn't think it was that great a song. I don't know.
a lot of love for Lavatory Lil. Wow. All right, so
I
Nick
love Lavatory Lil. It's such a good song that if you tell me put on McCartney 3 right now, I'm going right to that song.
oh my God, really?
And then When Winter Comes, but that was done in 1992.
Yeah, that was not a current song. I was put on there.
No,
So Nick,
not at all. But you know what? But people who are not Beatle geeks like all of us here don't know that. So when they heard When Winter Comes at the end, it's a beautiful song and sung beautifully because in 1992 he had his Paul McCartney voice. But people were like, "Ooh, his voice is still good. Listen to When Winter Comes." I'm like,
it's not. It's in the 90s.
30 years ago.
90s. Come on.
You have to do non-Beatle geeks.
Yeah. Days and Home are both listed as singles, according to Nick. All right.
Ha ha. I knew it.
Yeah, but
No, I think anything released that I think anything that's quote released is now considered a single. Because I don't think there's any differentiation between, physical and just a song being released. If Paul or any artist puts out a song that he says, this is the latest single, I think that's basically what's going to be on their discography.
Yeah. Chris asks, is Beautiful Night the last time Ringo was on a Paul song with a voice part?
On a Paul song. Yeah, Paul's been on a lot of Ringo songs. We're on the road.
On the road again.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably right, Chris. Right? I can't think of it. What Paul song would have been on since then? Think about it. Since Flaming Pie? What? Nothing on Driving Rain, nothing on Chaos, nothing on Memory Almost Full.
No, he's not on anything.
No. So that was it. That was it, Chris. Good job. Lynn doesn't like.
It's so funny that Ringo wanted Paul on all of his songs, and now Paul wants Ringo.
And not just
funny.
I just like kind of like hanging out there, like doing like he's legit singing this song with him, which is exciting.
Well, the story goes that Ringo got pissed when he first got the track.
That's a Beatles song. That doesn't count. That's different.
What do you mean? I'm talking about this one.
No, I know, but Nick mentioned Now and Then, where Paul and Ringo.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, he's saying Now and Then.
That's a Beatles song, yeah.
That's different.
I would say, yeah.
Yeah, Jeff says, someone mentioned that Paul doesn't like to put his image on LP covers, but he did on the backside of McCartney 3, and he looked really good on that. Agreed. That could have been the cover.
Yes, but that would have looked too much like Imagine. You know what I mean? The back cover does sort of look like that face, sideways face. It looks. I don't think he wants to compete with John anymore.
No. Oh, this is great. Tony's just not letting this go. I love it.
Uh-oh.
Anyone can add to Wiki. Let me know what the catalog matrix number is. He is dying. But I agree with him. He's right. He's right.
Yeah. Catalog matrix numbers only appear on physical product.
There you go, Tony. I get it.
I sit corrected.
Is it too echoey in here now? I'm sorry. I'm not in my usual location here. Sorry, Matt.
No, it's fine.
It's okay.
I can hear you. It's all right.
It's all right. I got my AirPods. Winter comes. It's okay.
It's a beautiful little song.
Yeah,
it's not gonna, it's not gonna, be a Grammy winner, but it's for Paul. It's, come on. Would you rather hear When Winter Comes or Bip Bop?
Exactly. Let's circle back to Ringo here. Tony had asked earlier, did you guys review Ringo's recent album for
No, we were going to get together last week, but again, unfortunately, like John said, life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans.
Tell me.
Unfortunately, we've had some serious health things going on with the families, put it that way. So we have to take care of, we do a free show. We don't get money for it. So, when we can, we do. And, but I do my best to update our Facebook page like every day, as much as possible to keep everything going. And we are going to record for Ringo. We're going to record for Paul. But it's weird. We don't like only recording for, reviews. We like doing topics, as you've seen in 200 plus. We like doing a lot of topics that, are themed without being review and analysis. So
right.
We're trying to get those too,
Right. We try to do that too, but life gets in the way. And
it's unfortunate, we've had a couple of people make comments like, sarcastic comments like, oh, are you guys still doing a podcast? And they mean it sarcastically, because they write haha. And I get very angry at that, because if they only knew what we're all three of us are going through in terms of, our families and extended families, or even us, in terms of health and just taking care of your family. We started Fab Four Free For All as Fab Forum in 2009. We've been doing it for 17 years.
Yeah,
it's a long time. And 17 years ago we were in our 40s and our 30s, whatever it was. And and 17 years ago my kids were babies and I could put them to sleep and do a podcast. Now my kids are older and my wife, we have and Rob, and Tony's wife and Tony's mom passed last year. So, there's a lot of stuff that gets in the way of doing a quote free show. And I love doing Fab Four Free For All, and I love coming on your shows because I love talking Beatles. But sometimes it's true. Life does happen when you're trying, when you're busy making other plans. So if you're wondering why we're not podcasting right away, there you go. But we are never leaving as long as we're breathing.
No, it's just why I do that. It's exactly why. It's why I do what I do. I mean, I had this conversation with Tom yesterday about doing two legs, or is it Hands Across the Water, or is it my own thing? Like, people's situations change, and you got to do what you got to do. And if we're going to talk about Paul, I'll talk about Paul. And if Tom and I want to do two legs, we do two legs. And if I want to talk about Paul, I'll just talk about Paul. So it happens. It absolutely happens.
Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that comment.
A lot of appreciation for your content, and thank you. But
some people hate me because I put up every version and they buy it, and then they blame me. But if you do watch our page, I did get a lot of people a free Power to the People.
Yes, you did. Yes,
Boxes
you did.
for free.
Yes, you did.
So,
yeah. Real quick, hot take. Do you like Long, Long Road better, or do you like Look Up better?
I like Long, Long Road better.
Okay.
I think it's more country than Look Up. I think Look Up was country and Americana because he told us it was. There were definitely songs that were, but I think there are. I think Long Long Road is much more in the country style of like Bukuza Blues.
Yes.
So, and I just, some people say it's boring. It's, I don't think so. I just this, I love listening to that album because it's peaceful. It's got a lot of great country aspects.
Right. Well, it's got all the pedal steel and stuff in it.
Got it all. Every song has it all, except I call it psychedelic country. The new Choose Love. That's my word. I'm gonna, I'm trademarking psychedelic country because that's what it is. But and it's, I understand why he did it again, but honestly, it doesn't fit on the album. But I like Long Long Road a lot better. I just think it's one you can put on in the background while you're working. You're still singing it in your head because I've definitely been singing a lot of the earworms on it. There's a song called Why on there where I don't know why, no pun intended, but I don't know why I keep singing it and laughing every time I sing it. But so, there's I just think they're both great bookend, but at the age of 86, my God, he's put out some of his best stuff. So I like it.
He has, and they're great. They're great. They both complement each other. I still like Look Up better for me, although Long Long Road is a more country album in the classic sense, and it is. It absolutely is. But I still prefer the highs of Look Up are better than the highs of Long Long Road, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
no, I would agree with you on that one, but man, it's hard to criticize either of them because they're both good, really good. And so, if you give me Look Up to put on while I'm working or even just relaxing, or if you give me Long Long Road, I'm not going to, turn either one of them.
I kind of categorize Long Long Road as an appetizer for the Boys of Dungeon Lane, and some people said, "Oh, that's not fair. You shouldn't say that." But I'm sorry,
because you're pitting Ringo against Paul, and you're actually saying that by saying he's the appetizer, you're kind. And I'm not saying you're doing this, but it would appear that you're disparaging Ringo because you're saying that. Okay, Ringo's cute, but here comes Paul, the man, the main Beatle, and that's, you know what, there are many people who say that Ringo sounds better than Paul these days. So, you know what, you could say it all day. It doesn't really matter. As I keep saying it on our page, on the Fab Four Free For All page, if you could just say, we're arguing or debating or we're having a spirited discussion on two, as my people say, alta old men who are making great music. We're talking about an 84 and an 86-year-old guy who are out there making good music. Okay, good music, and we're debating, on stuff. I never, ever. When I was even 20 in 1982, when Paul put out Tug of War, if you would have told me we'd be sitting here discussing two albums
in their 80s, you would have said, no way, that's possible.
No, no, I wouldn't have done it. And now I'm very happy to be able to say, oh, well, I like that one better or not better. We're talking about two albums in 2 years.
I know, it's tit for tat. It's tit for tat, but and the fact that they are both in their 80s putting music out, it's great. But I'm a Paul guy, and people know that. So of course I'm gonna look forward to the Paul album more than the Ringo album. But I don't mean to slight the Ringo album. I enjoy it for what it is. It's pleasant. It's background music. Listen. I bought the purple vinyl, Beatley Tone. Bought that. I don't know if you knew that the Jacaranda in Liverpool did a special die cut. He got
500 of them.
So listen, I like it, but. Am I going to gravitate to Paul more? Yeah, every day of the week. Sorry, but it's just
you basically do a Paul podcasts.
Right.
So, and there's there's not many Ringo podcasts, but
No, there's not.
I think I look forward to Paul's a lot. I looked forward to Ringo's because I liked Look Up. So that I was really amped up to hear the next one, especially since he was still working with T-Bone and Molly Tuttle and Billy Strings, all that stuff. So I was really excited to,
And
to
let me
hear
put
the
it this
new
way
one.
too. It's like this is like Look Up and Long Long Road. I haven't listened to Ringo albums from start to finish as much as that since I mean I can't tell you when. I mean, Joe Mayo wants me to do he wants me to listen to Time Takes Time, and we might do a little video on that. But like Ringo album start to finish, I don't listen to a whole lot other than like a couple of them. I don't.
Time Takes Time is a good album from start to finish.
As I know, I'm warming up to it. I heard a song on the Beatles channel, the last song on the album called "What Goes Around." I really liked it. It was really good. So I thought it was
Runaways
a great track.
is a great song too. Runaways, oh my god! So
So
you should, Heidi. I see your comment. You disagree with me. I didn't say that Paul sounds worse than Ringo. I said other people have said that Ringo now sounds better than Paul. I'm not saying I agree or disagree with that. There's sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But so you read me wrong, Heidi. You heard me wrong.
She means it with all peace and love. She does.
No,
No,
I
but,
know. I'm not.
but
I'm
I
not
mean,
mad.
I haven't taken the time to listen to a Ringo album from start to finish since Look Up and Long Long Road. Like I know those albums inside and out, and I can't. I didn't do that for Ringo Rama or Why Not or Postcards from Paradise or any of those. Like one or two songs, and that's it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I started not doing that with Liverpool 8.
Yeah.
I didn't love Liverpool 8 I just didn't. So, again, yes, you misheard. Sorry. The, you're right. Maybe I'm not going to listen to it back and forth, but these last two I have because they were really, really good. I still can't tell you, and this is not a knock on Ringo at all, but I can't tell you if you gave me a solo Ringo song that I've heard a million times. I'm not sure I can tell you what album it's on. No.
Hell no. But a Paul album you could.
You know what? Yes, except for maybe the one I don't like the most, Driving Rain. I have trouble, and I'm being honest now, not just disparaging Driving Rain, because I really don't enjoy that album at all.
Give it a chance.
There's some really good stuff on it, though. I mean, Your Loving Flame is just, God.
I tell you, Mitch, no, Mitch, let me interrupt you here. Our Two Legs family here, we had every month we host a listening party on our Discord server, and we listened to that album from start to finish. And a lot more people were like, you know what? That album isn't as bad as history is painting it.
Yes. As it's gone on in the future, you know what, though? That's because also there are some things that change when you get older. You see things from a different perspective. That's why John was so upset that Double Fantasy didn't hit with the quote kids, but he even said it in interviews. I'm doing it for people my age. People his age loved that album, and I see why. And now that I'm 64, and no, my wife doesn't need me, and yeah, she still feeds me though. But honestly, now that I'm 64, I understand so much more about when they were, what Paul, does now, because, he's talking about more mature themes, and I'm more mature. I mean, I'm 20 years younger than him, but so now it really hits home, whereas 30 years ago, I wouldn't have cared about a lot of stuff because it's not relatable. The one thing that home to us is relatable to everybody.
Very
to
relatable.
Everybody, no matter if you were born 10 years ago or 70 years ago or 80 years ago, you still played in the street. You still did this. You still did every.
Oh, Mitch, we're losing you. You're coming in and out.
It's in the lyrics with your hometown, whatever. Oh, all right. So there you go. We
There, you're
kept that
back.
for a
You're back.
few
You're
seconds.
back.
Okay. So um, all I'm saying is that Home to Us is very, very relatable, whether you were born in Liverpool or whether you were born in Howard Beach, Queens, like me, or whether you were born in Kansas, doesn't matter. The lyrics are so relatable to this, which is why I think it's a good song, because, you're not going, oh, well, you felt that, but I didn't feel that. This one, everybody feels every single line in this song, which is getting back to it, why I think it's so good still.
No, it's very, very relatable. Again, I keep asking it. When are we going to Lenny's Clam Bar? Come on, Mr. Howard. When are we going? I got family in Rockaway. Come on.
My wife was born in Rockaway, and her mom and dad still live there, 97 and 98 years old. God bless them.
God bless,
They
baby.
still living there, yeah. So we're going to see her mom tomorrow for Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
So make sure you go past 116th Street, Beach 116th. Come on, that's where the stores are. You know that. Come on.
Like I said, my father-in-law's printing place, it's still there on Beach 92nd. They still run it.
Old school New Yorkers at heart here. That's where, even though I'm in Jersey, I'm a New Yorker at heart. Come on.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely, when I get mad, like I said, my Queens comes out. When I get mad, I start.
I need some Queens too.
Oh, well, then I see why she mishears me. On purpose. She mishears me on purpose so she could start up with me. That's why.
That's right.
No, I'm just kidding. But I again, this song is very relatable. Something that not a lot of songs nowadays are, and so that's why it hit home too, because you could, Queenie Eye, as much as it was about the same time.
That's what about Queenie Eye?
I was going to say that wasn't relatable to me, because that was relatable to Paul, because we never heard. That was the first time I knew what they were singing from. The Christmas time is here again. OUT spells out. I thought it was just a stupid thing, but all of a sudden now it means something.
Right, but it's unique to them. It's because it's a UK thing, and we can't relate to it.
Yes, but it's relatable to them. This is relatable to every. He doesn't say Liverpool here. He doesn't say the Dingle. He doesn't say UK. He doesn't.
No, he does not.
That's in this song that can tell you where his hometown was.
That is very fair. In all the lyrics of Home to Us, there's nothing in there saying that it's the Dingle or it's Toxteth or any part of Liverpool. It's just a song unique to, and that's relatable to anybody. Although the lyrics. I mean, if you know what you know, it's a little different because if you know Liverpool.
Yes, but still, it's still a very relatable song. So I hope it does well. I really do. I hope that it's played more than we want it to be played. I hope people really go out there and and download it and stream it. And I really hope there is a physical single, just so we can tell Tony was wrong.
Oh,
no, I'm kidding.
Here we go.
So I can come on and just.
He's off to bed now.
Next time if there's a physical single, the first thing I'm posting is the Matrix number. But again, I think
before we wrap up, Mitch, I'm going to ask you one more time.
Yep.
You give me your 3 songs for Saturday Night Live, and I'll give you my 3, and then we'll say goodnight.
Oh God, I'm going to be wrong, but you know what? I'm going to talk to Paul's PA, so I'm right. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
no, I do think he's going to start with the Days We Left Behind. I do. And again, this could not be in the order, but I think he is going to start with that. The second song. All right. If there's 3, if there's only 2, it's definitely going to be Days We Left Behind. And I think it's going to be Home to Us if Ringo comes on. Either way, I think he probably will do Home to Us as a solo if Ringo doesn't come on. But the second song, if there's 3, because we're sitting here assuming there will be, but he's royalty, so he'll get 3. God, I'm gonna have to go with Mayo and say probably Help. I think it's a decent choice.
all right.
And you?
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a Beatles song to open.
Nah.
A
You're
Beatles song
wrong
to
right
open.
away. We can't say goodnight until you get some right.
That's right, in my opinion. A Beatles song to open, then a Wings song, probably Jet, and then Home to Us with Ringo, and then a fourth song with a little help of my friends with him.
Yes, I think if there's going to be Home to Us, I think it will be Into with a little help.
That's what it's going to be. I
Yeah.
think because you want balance. You're going to want to represent Paul. If he's given 3 songs, maybe 4, why not have a perfect balance of his musical palette? The Beatles, Wings, and his current a song from his current album, and then the encore with a little of My Friends with Ringo.
I don't think Jet is one that I just don't know. I don't think he's going to do that.
Because it's the Wings thing. We have the Wings stuff going on. He's got to do a Wings song.
I know he does, but I at this point, he's so into 1985. You never know.
You never know. Well, we're going to say goodnight and start winding down. So I want to thank everybody who chimed in tonight on this special live tonight with Mitch Axelrod from the Fab Four Free for All, one of the more long-standing Beatles-related podcasts that has been going since 2009. And Mitch is well-connected and has a lot of sources and is very knowledgeable. And I am very appreciative that he joined me tonight. Everybody, thank you. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Beatley Tone. Thank you, Chris, Susan Gagney, Tony D, Jeff. Too many to count. But you know who.
Everybody remember Romper Room?
Of course.
All right, that's what you sound like right now. Like Miss Louise saying hi to everybody. And I see Tony, I see Heidi, she never said Mitch, by the way. Bastard.
Listen, thank you guys. Thank you for being here tonight. Listen, Cleveland will be in Cleveland on Thursday for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with the Wings concert Saturday Night Live. Whose prediction's going to be right? Mitch, if you're right, dinner's on me at Lenny's Clan Bar, and if I'm right, dinner's on you. How about that?
I was going to say if you're right, dinner's on Heidi, and if I'm right, dinner's on Heidi. So either way, Heidi, get ready. No,
okay,
no, that's fine. You know what? Lenny's Clan Bar, whoever's right, and even if we're both wrong, Lenny's Clan Bar.
All right. Well, listen, everybody out there, thanks for joining into this special live chat tonight here on my channel with Mitch Axelrod from the Fab Free for All. Keep enjoying Home to Us. Play it 172 more times. You know, Mitch and I are going to do the same thing.
Doing it when we get off here.
Absolutely. So we'll see you next time and take care. Have a great night, everybody, and be safe. And happy Mother's Day tomorrow here in America to all the mothers out there.
Yes. Happy Mother's Day. Usually they tell me that, but there's usually an F word after it. So enjoy, everybody.
Good night, everybody, and take care. God bless.